Welcome to looking at the B-QUAL app. This video is about how to use the B-QUAL app and will take you through some of the steps on how to log in and how to enter data. The B-QUAL app is designed to overcome the issues from using paper-based records. These include the ability to access your data quickly, the ability to follow and analyze your data as it goes across time, and to help you in your decision making for your business. Hopefully, this app will allow you to get control of your business and to find out areas that need improvement and to find out where you're doing well. So let's get started. The first thing I'd like to show you is how to log on. Logging on requires an email address and your B-QUAL membership number. Just a point to the side, if multiple people are going to be accessing this system, then you're probably better off setting up an email address for the system itself, rather than trying to use personal email addresses. So I will show you how to log in. I've set myself up as a member and we'll go through this process. So, email address and password. Okay, your password is your B-QUAL membership number without the BQ. Okay, now this will take you to Welcome to B-QUAL. As you can see, the B-QUAL app is designed by the CRC for honey products and covers both B-Trace and B-QUAL. I want to show you some basic things before we continue. If you click over here, it's your profile and it allows you to log out and change your password. I would recommend you change your password from your membership number because this is an important part of keeping your security. The other aspect is these three lines over here. If you click on these three lines, up will come the left-hand frame, giving you all the categories that you need for filling in the app. The first important thing is to look at the left-hand frame of the app. As you can see down here, we've got the categories that are really important for your business. While we cover lots of material in the app, I'm proposing to just take you through a couple of the categories today. For example, beekeeping. Now this is going to be an important category that you will do a lot of work in. So we will go through that one and then honey at the end. Please explore the other categories and fill them out as you see fit. Beekeeping. Now beekeeping is going to be common for most of you, so let's have a look at beekeeping. So as you can see here, under beekeeping, we've got further categories which are important and align with your B-QUAL manual records. For example, sites. Let's go into sites. I've actually inputted a couple of sites. These are not real honey sites, but as you can see, it allows me to enter sites as we go. And this would align with your current manual B-QUAL app page. When you start, please input your sites. You can do this either by adding individual sites here. For example, names, coordinates, landowners, nearest town produce. As you can see, this replicates your current manual process. I'll show you one of the sites. Okay, so this is a site I have entered in previously. So you can see that it has the coordinates, UWA is the landowner, and the site. Down here, you can click on whether it's near a GMO, is it a farm, requires key to access, etc. If you don't want to enter a site individually, you can download a spreadsheet template, fill in the data for each of your sites, and then upload it. This will help make data entry for other areas much easier. For example, If we download the template, up comes the template, and you can see it replicates exactly your manual process that you've used previously. You can enter this data starting at row 2, entering the data. And then you can import it from Excel by clicking on here. If at a later date you want to get more data, you can export it from Excel. Now I'm going to take you through loads. Loads is an important aspect. This is about shifting hives from A to B. At the time this video was filmed, the Varroa mite actually entered the Port of Newcastle this weekend. So New South Wales are in a lockdown and they can't move hives. But if your hives were in the area that the New South Wales Department of Agriculture want to inspect, you can easily access this information through this web page. I'd like to show you how to import a file from Excel into the app. You click on Import from Excel, click on the file that you want to import, open, and you'll notice it's saying records have been imported successfully. And if you go down below, you'll see 2 new records came in from the Excel spreadsheet. If I open that spreadsheet up, you can see that load 5 and load 6 have been imported into the system. 5 and 6. In addition, some helpful tips are, if you want to edit a load, click on the pencil here and it will allow you to edit information from that load. If you want to add more detail, you can click on the arrow. It can give you your load history, the movements, etc. that relate to that particular load. For example, because it's an interrelational database, each load is linked to inspections because you usually inspect the load before moving it. So this will give you the inspections associated with each load. So we've done loads. Now let's go to inspections. Inspections is an important aspect of beekeeping. So here's load 1. We're going to inspect load 1. So I've put load 1 in previously. You fill in this information, number of hives, number of queenless hives, etc. It asks you for a comment. It's really important that you put comments in. These comments will help you in the longer term think about how each of these hives are doing at the sites and will help you understand what is happening. To add an item around this, you click on Add an Item. You've got hive removal, adding a nuke, pest and disease tests, sightings, and site treatment. So for example, if we click on this one and you click on the arrow at the side, it will show you all the pests and diseases available. So if we go American foul brood, the test method that this was done, and the result, and it allows you to import a file if you've got another file. In particular, if you've taken a picture of the hive, it will allow you to import a picture to show what is happening in the hive. You can do the same for any items in this area: the sighting, site treatment, hive removal. Let's look at harvestings. Harvestings is an important part. You click on it. Again, it allows you to discuss harvesting and extraction. You fill out the facilities. I've filled out a facility here, and you can see it's a dummy facility, but you can add whatever you like. If you click on the arrow over here, It allows you to edit facilities and add further facilities that you have if you have multiple facilities. It allows you to search facilities. So if I type in plant 1, up will come plant 1. If we go back to harvestings, you can add a harvesting here, click here, and it will give you the facilities that will help you. Loads, the load from which you're harvesting, and the number of frames from which you're harvesting. And it adds it into the database. Let's have a look at landowners. Landowners is an important aspect. You can add a landowner and you can put in their name, email, phone number, address, and whether the landowner is public. Again, if you've got multiple landowners, you can download a template, put them into the template, and then import them back through Excel rather than adding them individually. The last part of beekeeping is biosecurity. Biosecurity is a really important aspect. The app has been set up through our GIS system, which allows us to either put in the coordinates of the incident or search for it on the map. If you put in a biosecurity incident, an email will be directly sent to the biosecurity officer for the area that you are operating in. So if you're in New South Wales, it will go to the biosecurity officers in New South Wales. In Perth, it will go to the biosecurity officers in Perth. So this is to ensure quick access if any biosecurity incidents occur. So if we add an incident, which I won't do for the video because I don't want the biosecurity officers knowing about it, is again, you can put in the coordinates. You can click here to see the pests and diseases for which the biosecurity incident can occur, and you'll notice that Varroa, AFB, etc. are included. You can indicate the inspection and load for which that came from, and you can add comments. And again, please take a picture if it's a biosecurity incident, and you can upload the photo of the incident if it's relevant. You can also use the map, and you could go around, find where the map is. So I'm just pulling it up for Australia. You can click on Queensland, right, and just say you're in Bundaberg in Queensland. You can keep going until you can hit approximately where it is. So you can add the incident according to the map also. So that was beekeeping, and I hope that gave you a quick overview of beekeeping. Next, I'd like to show you honey. Now, honey is important for both beekeepers who sell the honey to packers and packers who, of course, pack the honey in jars to sell to the retail market. So let's go to honey. And you can see here that honey has lots of different categories. Containers. So this is for containers for when you fill the container of the honey, and it allows you to add in containers. As you can see here, I've put in one container, and the facility for which the container automatically comes up. So we can add a container, and you can see each container should have a number in your system. You will have a batch number for that particular batch, litres, weight, and the facility. Here again, it's a drop-down menu, and you can choose the facility that you used. It also indicates whether it's filled and whether it's been created by a packer. You have the ability to upload files and save files if you wish. Packer containers again are different. So you can add a container, and in the packer container you can add a floral variety. So let's say we're in WA, we want Jarrah. It's a floral variety. You can click, you type it in, and up comes Jarrah. If you want another floral variety, say yellow box, you can see here that yellow box comes up with yellow bloodwood, banksia, gum, etc. So as you type in, it will automatically select the floral variety that suits. We have included, as you can see, the species name. This is important for further testing and to ensure accuracy in the data. Okay, we have colour, odour, taste, moisture percentage. This is the moisture percentage which is usually done in your testing, who it was inspected by and approved by. Let's look at container sales. Okay, container sales are important because this keeps a record of your sales, who you've sold to over the longer term. You can again add through Excel, or you can add a sale. And this is the information that you will need. You'll need a vendor declaration number, when it was purchased on, delivery on, the seller name, the buyer name, so the seller name if it's a non-member, the buyer name if non-member, and the price. This will allow you to keep a record of the sales that you've made, the prices that you're obtaining for the honey that you're producing. And if we go down here, this is the other information that you needed to collect, AFB, honey culture test, etc. for your container sales. If you're a packer, you often blend suppliers, and blending honey is a common way to ensure standardized tastes and standardized ways of selling the honey. You can add blended supplier by the supplier name and the supplier member. So overall, you can see what honey is. You can talk about the blends, you can talk about the sampling and whether you sample different blends, the products and the products dispatched. And this is who you're selling your product to. So this is the product, the batch number. The batch number is required by Australian government labelling laws, the price and the client name for whom is purchasing the product. I'd now like to talk to you about purchases. Purchases are really important. They're about the inputs that we have to the beekeeping process. In particular, queen purchases, because purchasing queens from unknown suppliers can bring in diseases which you might want to follow through later. So let's have a look. Feed purchases. This is important if you have to feed your hive, say in winter, when there's not enough food around for the bees to forage. So it allows you to input your feed purchases. Clicking on the arrow will bring up some commonly known feeds that you can use. It also gives you the dosage rate and the invoice file. Chemical purchases. This is about any chemicals that you use in your bee hives. So if we look at this again, we have listed common chemicals that you may be using. Chemical use varies according to state. This app has been designed Australia-wide, so in some states, chemical use is not allowed. Lastly, queen purchases. Like I said, queen purchases are really important, as introducing new queens from unknown suppliers or other suppliers can introduce diseases and pests into your hive. So this is an area that auditors follow quite closely. So here you'll have the seller name, the number of queens, and the invoices that you can follow through later if a problem occurs. Let's have a quick look at business. I'm not going to go through all of this because much of this is standardized and straightforward. One of the things I would recommend though is facilities, and to include and upload your facilities as one of the first steps that you will take when starting to use the app. If you're a large beekeeper and you have multiple facilities, you can upload it through a template, or you can add a facility individually. If you add these facilities in the early process, then when it comes for harvesting and processes like that, these facilities will automatically come into their drop-down menus. Also included in business is cleaning, temperature checks, and of course pest controls. Pest control is important given that honey is a food product and therefore it needs to be constantly monitored. So you can add the facility, the station number, the location, and you can put photos of the pest controls that you've been using. We also have equipment items and calibration of any equipment that you have. It also includes public data and audits. Audits is an important menu for when you get audited. So let's look at audits. So here, an audit will come up and it will indicate when it started on, completed, etc. An important section in audit is corrective action requests. On the completion of an audit, the auditor will input data for corrective action requests. These corrective action requests will automatically be emailed to you, notifying you that you have corrective action requests in the system. It also emails you closer to the date for which the corrective action request needs to be completed as a reminder to ensure that you have begun the process. Auditors add corrective action requests, and this is what it looks like from the auditor perspective. You can see the audit, the description, the severity of the test, and the member can add comments onto the corrective action request indicating how they followed through on that particular request. We have also included internal member audits and internal corrective action requests. This is for companies where they have a quality assurance officer internally, and that quality assurance officer will generate internal CARs, and this, of course, is another form of quality assurance. Thank you for watching this instructional video. We hope you have found this helpful. If you have any further issues, please contact your B-QUAL membership.